So hello everyone. So today we are going to start by learning Python programming. So first of all, we're going to start by what is Python. So Python, these are high level interrupted and general purpose programming language known for its readability and simplicity. So why Python? So Python is has some importance and advantage too, whereby it can be used for web development. It can also be used for data analysis and automation too. So first of all, those are like type of the advantages of Python, whereby we can start by the first step that we're going to take is setting up the environment. So that's what is really needed. So I'll be sharing with you. So we first go to Python. We first check to Python. Okay, so we download Python. So we download the current version for Windows at the Python website. So after downloading the latest version, we are going we move and install um, okay, so we move next, so we move to install, so we close. So the next thing after installing Python, we are going to move by we are going to try and install the use code editor, which we are going to use. For that case, we are going to use PyCharm to do the code editor, the code editing. So we're going to search for PyCharm for Windows. So we come to the JetBrains, download PyCharm. So you're going to download the PyCharm for the Windows. So that's our first step. After downloading, so you're going to download it. So as it's loading, so Python is a very interesting programming language, whereby it enables you to at least and try to understand and come up with some few projects. For instance, you can come up with a project for coming up with a calculator. There is creating a music player if you are fan of music. Also, you can come up with a currency exchanger. Also, you can currency converter. Sorry, you can come up with a currency converter. So that's among some of simple project that will be trying out as we progress while learning Python. So Python also it has a vast ecosystem of libraries and frameworks. So that's another good thing about Python, whereby it's so easy for you to try and come up with different with some few come up with some few projects, whereby it enables you to at least come up with good and things that are so important and might end up helping out in the future. So as the PyCharm is as we are trying to set up the environment, we'll also be going through to do some other things too, whereby as we progress with the learning of Python. So this is just day one of learning Python, whereby we are trying to at least come up with to set up the environment that will enable us to do some coding while learning Python. So So we progress as we wait for the pipe, as we wait for PyCharm, the PyCharm code editor to download. So Python is a very interesting programming language. It's a very interesting programming language which will enable us to learn and be at a point whereby we can come up with different ideas, and that's one of the things that everyone is trying to at least learn something. So this is a good thing. So what can Python do? So Python can be used on servers to create web application, can be used alongside softwares to create workflows, can connect to database systems. It can also read and modify files. So Python is so interesting while you are doing this, because with all this on the table from Python, it means it's so easy for us to at least try and learn. So it will be an interesting journey along while you're trying to learn Python. So Python syntax compared to other programming languages. So it's designed for readability. So that's what I said like before as we start. Python is a high level programming language with which is you're able to at least read, and it's not that vast or complicated at all. Has some similarities to the English language, which with influence from mathematics. Python uses new lines to complete a command, as opposed to other programming languages which often uses semicolons or parentheses. So Python relies on indication in the identification using white space to define scope of loops, function, and classes. So Python is so interesting. So our PyCharm, let me check. So our PyCharm is our PyCharm, the code editor is PyCharm, the code editor is downloading. We can check on some syntax basics. So for syntax basics, we are going to go through along as we are progressing. We'll be able to understand and get to know more about variables, data types. We have basic operators, we have control flow, we have such are those are such of things that we are going to expect. So we have this, as I mentioned before, Python programming language can enable us to do some few simple projects whereby we can come up with a calculator. As I said before, we can come up with a basic number guessing game, currency converter, chatbot, music player if you're interested, and music player player. So that's some of that's part of what we can check and see. So as you're finalizing on setting up the programming language, we can check some few things on why Python. Why do people prefer Python? Most of people prefer Python. One, the first thing is Python is much easier. Works on different platform. That's one thing with Python. It works on easily, or you can operate using different platform. Has a simple syntax similar to English languages. Has syntax that allows developers to write programs with fewer lines than some other programming languages. Runs on an interpreter system, meaning that code can be executed as soon as it is written. Can be treated in a procedural way, and an object-oriented way or a functional way. So those are part of the reason why Python is an interesting programming language. So our so it's almost done. So we want to install the PyCharm. So that's day one of learning Python. So we set up our environment by we have the IDE, and that's PyCharm. We have started by downloading this was the first thing we downloaded and installed the latest version of Windows. That's for Python. Also, we are progressing to check so PyCharm. So we're going to install PyCharm. Going to install PyCharm. Takes a few time, a bit of time. It's almost done. As you can see, we said before, for Python it can easily it can work on different platforms. As you can see, the version of Python, it can work on Windows, Linux, Mac, OS, Raspberry, and etc. So these are some of what is there. So we go ahead to install our the PyCharm, the IDE. So as you can see, please wait while setup is loading. So setup is loading. So that's as you can see on the screen. So welcome to PyCharm setup. So we proceed next. Install location, JetBrains. Next. Installation option, create a short, so you can create a desktop shortcut, which that's okay. So you create desktop, and then now we proceed to install our PyCharm. So that's take a bit of time, but now, so that's what we're going to do. That's the first thing that you have to do before starting to do some creating some lines. So as we wait for you can see so that's so you can see on your screen we're installing PyCharm. So as it's installing, we'll be set to go. So Python, as we said before, also Python can be used for web development, software development, mathematics, system scripting, has a lot of things that it can be used on. Also, we have some interesting facts about Python. So some interesting facts about so it's loading. We are almost there as we're installing the PyCharm, setting up the environment that will make it easier for us to learn and progress in Python. So I have like 13 facts about interesting facts about Python. So first, Python is as I said before, is so interesting, whereby Python is the beginner friendly language, is the beginner friendly language if you are planning to start learning Python. So Python is so friendly. Python does not need a compiler, so it does not need a compiler to translate code into a machine language before execution. It's an interrupted language and executes code directly with the help of Python interpreter, so the IDE. So Python has one Python is a portable language, which means the programmers can reuse their codes. On different platforms without the need to write it all over again. So also Python is a free and open source language. Also, Python has a extensive library support, or a vast library support, whereby has become a simpler language because of its heavier library and module support. So that's some interesting facts about Python. Python is the fastest growing language. So it's the fastest growing language. Python consists of Python uses English language. Python is a compiler to learn because Python is more similar to English than other programming languages. So that's part of also Python is not a snake. For those we know all about, like you think Python is a snake. Many of us wonder about names of these programming languages and what the logic behind it must be. The Python language name was kept by a British comedy group, Monty Python, in 1970. So that's that's an interesting fact about Python too. So Python support multiple returns. Python allow multiple assessments, and Python consists of memory power of underscore. So those are some interesting facts about Python too. So Python is so interesting and so easy for one to learn and understand and start coming up with some ideas too. So PyCharm is installing running some few steps. So Python is so interesting. So we are almost there. So we are finished. We are going to, you're clicking, PyCharm has been installed on your computer, so click to close up, to close the setup. So that's all we have today. So we are done. We are done with the installation of the PyCharm. Also, we are able to install. We are able to install Python 2, the Python site. So that's all for today. So see you next time while we are trying to progress to day 2 of learning Python. So I've been your host, Tony. So thank you so much for watching this episode.